This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the middle of the African bush. It's just after first light on a cloudy day. Those are impala, one of the favorite foods of a leopard, and that's what we're tracking. This is Safari Live. Ready.
Standing by.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are live, you are live.
Welcome to your own private South Africa. This is live from the middle of the African bush. My name is Brent, and I've got Jandre on camera with me today. Tayla and Dave are meandering around somewhere else, and we have just found what look to be young male leopard tracks right outside our camp. So I'm just having a quick squiz a little bit further to the west to see if the tracks went this way. If not, I'm going to head back to where I had the last tracks and try to figure out where he went. Also, lions roaring to the north during the night, so lots of exciting prospects for this morning's sunrise safari. Okay, so I'm just looking very carefully on the road here and on this road. So leopards quite often like to use roads as thoroughfares. A lot of the roads out here in the African bush were built where large elephant paths used to be. So it doesn't look like he went this way. So let's go back to the last track. Now, one of the reasons we get up and get out so early in the morning is because when the big cats are most active. So fingers crossed that they're going to just walk into us this morning and we don't have to work too hard to find them. So while we try to figure out the puzzle of where this young leopard has gone, let's go say good morrow to Tayla.
Oh my goodness, good morning everybody. I'm looking for these lions and here they are right here. Look at this. They must be laughing at me this morning. I'm so sorry, I got so excited. I haven't even introduced myself properly, but I'm sure most of you know my voice by now. My name is Tayla, and on camera this morning I have Downpour Dave, and he's doing a fantastic job. I can't believe we missed these lions. We were so busy chatting away and deciding on how we're going to go to Arathusa and follow up on the leopards that I completely missed them. I'm looking down on the ground going, these lion tracks are really fresh. Like they've got to be here somewhere. Well, here are the lions. Let me count the females. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 5 females in here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and all the cubs are here too. Fantastic. Should we reposition a little bit so we get a better view? I'm going to go around. That was really funny, everyone. You don't understand how. I'm just thinking to myself, these lions must just be around the corner. I'm busy reversing, going, how on earth did I miss their tracks first time round? And well, here they are. What happens? You've got to have your eyes open all the time. It's okay, little one. And here they are indeed. Now I wonder where the males are, because I did see some of their tracks a little bit further down the road, but no sign of them just yet. So they've obviously walked quite a far distance from where they were last night, and they've dumped the boys apparently. My goodness. It just shows you've always got to keep your eyes peeled when you're out and about on the road. They must have laughed at us. David, how did we miss this? I don't know if they've maybe just arrived, because I swear when we drove past here earlier they were not sitting here. I didn't see them. And it looks like one of the females at the back, she's licking everybody. She seems to be ready to go. They look thin. Now we know that the Nkuhumas are some of the best huntresses I've ever seen. And I did see their footprints were going over... Sorry, I did see that their tracks were over some of the zebra tracks. So perhaps they were trying to track them. But there's obviously no zebra kill here, unfortunately. And maybe we see them go on a hunting excursion this morning. It's nice and overcast. It's very cloudy. The temperature is beautiful. It's about 65 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's not too hot. I think we're going to have an exciting morning with these Nkuhumas and all their cubs. Oh, look at that little one climbing up on the termite mound. It's very adventurous so early in the morning. Yes, it's a bit high for you. Be careful. Now you're going to go onto the log. These are mountain climbing lions, apparently. They just like to climb everything and eat all the sticks. This is my favorite age of the lions, when they are a few months old and they start developing their own personalities, and then they get a little bit sleepy and they start acting like the adults. But then when they get to about 1.5 years, then that's my next favorite age. Look at all of them over there, grooming each other. Everybody's copying the adults, all the little ones licking their toes, checking for any ectoparasites, any ticks, any fleas. Getting inside the padding. What a great way to start your morning. It surprised me. I'm awake now. I was finding it hard to wake up this morning, but now it's incredible. Yes, we're going to climb over the top of Mom because there's no point going around. Well, that's lovely, with them all huddled together like that. So they must have done a big loop last night, because I didn't see any of their tracks coming sort of west. Their tracks come from the west and go east. So perhaps they did a little boundary patrol last night, maybe checking for something to eat, and obviously, unfortunately, they weren't successful. So it seems as though they're heading straight back in the direction of their favorite drainage line, where they often are successful in hunting buffalo. I didn't see any big animals on quarantine, and I haven't been seeing too many buffalo around, so they're going to have to try and find a Duggar boy that's off on his own. And perhaps they will get lucky. Lots of grooming going on. Oh no, don't go to sleep. The birds haven't really even woken up just yet. There's just a few starting to chirp in the distance. Well, it's nice to see all 5 Nkuhumas back together again. It's been a few days since we've seen that. I love the fact that they've given the Birminghams the slip. Time for a little break. And the little ones are looking hungry too. They're all playing around. Got lots and lots of energy. But I suppose when you're not having to worry about hunting, and when they're this age, you can waste all your energy on chasing each other around and biting each other and climbing trees. Sometimes I think that Mom possibly prefers it so that they get tired out and don't harass them too much. You see them just playing through all those sticks there. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to attach my mic again. Good morning, Chris Rowe. Chris, you've asked a very interesting question. You would like to know, would lions stay close to termite mounds in order to escape the heat? I've never experienced that, so I don't particularly think And I don't think the lions know that there is lots of cold air or actually there's a lot of hot air that comes out of the termite mounds. We see those big chimneys that we see are ventilation systems. So no, I don't think the lions have quite realized that. I think it's just a coincidence that they happen to be near the termites, and it makes for a nice little jungle gym for the little ones to climb on. You don't very often see the adults up on the termite mounds. I've seen them a few times, but sort of using them more as a vantage point more than anything, just utilizing that height that some of these monstrous termite mounds tend to reach. Oh my goodness, they're very busy. I want to try and reposition again. I want to go a little bit further up Aubrey's Road, just so that we can get a clear view of all the lions. Those ones are hidden behind all the trees, so we will attempt to reposition. Right, let's go back a little bit. Yeah, there's lots of zebra tracks around here, so perhaps that's what they were interested in last night. They were trying to pick up on where this herd of zebra went to. Hello, Amber Eyes. There we go, that's nice. Now we can see them all. We've got the little ones staring at us again. They're becoming very curious with the vehicles. But hopefully they will in no time get bored of us and realize that we don't want to play with them. And we can just leave them alone. All rolling over with those lovely white bellies that you can spot from a mile away. All still playing with each other. See, now I'm not sure if this is possibly the end of their day, if they're grooming one last time before they decide to have naps, because Auntie Amber Eyes has gone to sleep. I don't know if you can see that. She's curled herself up into a nice ball. And the other female is suckling that we saw earlier. And the three on the right, well, they're still grooming themselves and grooming all the little cubs that are around them. There's definitely a fire in the cubs' eyes. Lots of talking to each other. Those older ones seem to have mastered grooming. Look at that one. No, you're not going to suckle from. I don't know. That could be one of the moms, possibly. I think I can see some suckle marks there. Right. Not having any of it. You can definitely see that female that's walking away, she doesn't look like she's producing too much milk anymore. Yeah, I've got a stick now. Look at her. See how this little one is sussing us out, trying to figure out what we are and why Mom accepts us when we make a lot of noise, and I'm sure we smell strange. Sort of copying the adults now, these two older cubs. They always seem to walk away and stare in the distance of these lionesses. They're not entirely sure what they're doing though, but just sort of copying. Oh, that's nice. Sprawl yourself over on that fallen log. And they're growing up so quickly. They've got so big. Remember, we are on a live safari at the moment. So if you'd like to interact with myself and Brent this morning, we would love to hear from all of you. So you can either hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or you can even send us an email, questions@wildearth.tv. And I look forward to hearing from everybody. Come on, lionesses. Show us what you're made of. It's a nice, cool day. It's perfect temperature for all of you to go on a little hunt. Look at this cheeky one again, eyeing us out. Very much enjoying this log. Yes, why don't you try... Oh, I'm hanging from it now. No. I think they're also slowly starting to learn this older cub that the bark doesn't taste as nice as it used to. I don't think they're teething as much as the little ones are. Though the others also seem to be growing up so quickly they don't even look small anymore. And that's what happens, is everybody grows up so fast. One of the teddy bears has got a big stick, a stick longer than its own body. Good morning, James Richard. I have to agree with you on this one. So James says this morning that the Nkuhumas are adorable and quiet, but just for the moment. And he says, and no doubt, I'm sure that the crying and the whining will start. I suspect that that will happen, especially since the adults haven't eaten. So I'm sure these little ones are probably going to start to get a little bit hungry. And then, of course, when mom says no more suckling because I haven't got any milk, that's when those noises start. Happily chewing away on their stick, though. And we buy our pets, and especially our dogs, all these very expensive chew toys, when apparently out in the bush there's some perfectly good ones. These lovely sticks. It's like children. Often you buy them the most expensive toy, and in the end, an old cardboard box is probably what they're going to have the most fun in. You can see them sticking that branch right to the back of the gums. Obviously there's some teeth coming through, and they're quite enjoying gnawing down on that. Looks like it's looking straight at us. That one was just quite happy eating its stick. It didn't quite enjoy being surprise attacked by a sibling. Now, Bob, good morning, and thank you for watching all the way from South California. Bob would like to know, sorry, I've got some gremlins in my throat this morning that don't seem to want to go away. And Bob would like to know, do lions get morning sickness when they're pregnant? Now, I'm not aware of this. I don't think that they do suffer from morning sickness like humans do. They just get big, and then the last few weeks they disappear, and then off they go to have their cubs. So I don't think that they do. I've never particularly seen lions getting sick. The only time I have is when they induce vomiting by eating lots of grass. But I can't say that I've seen pregnant lions doing that. I've actually seen more male lions doing that. There's actually one female eating grass now. Can you see her underneath the tree, how she's tucked herself away to the right? The next one. There, that one in there. Look at her. See how she's eating the grass? Just chewing it off. Now, you can see how difficult it actually is for a predator to eat grass. Trying to break it, it proves to be quite difficult when your teeth are a little bit sharper than perhaps, or you don't really have the molars in order to cut the grass nicely. So she's going to munch away at grass, and hopefully she will regurgitate it all up, and with whatever else she wasn't happy with inside her stomach. Now that's quite cheeky of her, I think, eating all that lovely long grass, because that's long enough for the elephants to eat. And you don't see the elephants eating any impala or buffalo. The lions should leave the food alone for the herbivores. There's so little left of it. Remember to take lots of screenshots, especially of the little ones playing, because remember, you're going to blink your eyes and in no time they're not going to be very little anymore, and you're all going to miss the little cubs so much. But if you take lots of screenshots, at least you're going to have many memories to remember them all by, and it'd actually be quite nice, especially down the line in a year or two, or even in 3 or 4 years, if some of you are hopefully still watching and following us, and then being able to share those photos with the new viewers that come through. Now, how are you managing that? You've got a stick in your mouth and you climbing up that tree. Now you can see how the little ones have been chewing quite a bit on all the branches and the bark and a variety of different things. And David from Napa this morning wants to know, by doing this, does it sharpen their teeth? David, I don't think so. I really think it's just for teething. With all those teeth coming through now, the mouths might be aching slightly. And a lot of the time, the lion's teeth are sharpening against themselves. And obviously, it is quite difficult to sharpen their teeth. And that's why the sharpest of the teeth is the carnassial shear. So, right down near the incisors, just behind them. And, of course, the canines are only really there for puncturing and trying to suffocate, as well as trying to break the spinal column. Otherwise, there's no real other use for the canines. They obviously are very important with the suffocating process of whatever animal they are able to catch. But it's not necessary to try and keep them sharp. They often wear down as they get older, and that's the easy way to try and actually indicate the age of a lion. Now, I'm going to hang around with the Nkuhumas just for a little bit longer and see what they get up to, but I believe Brent has got the largest African land mammal.
Unfortunately, highly mobile large African land mammals. Here we go, they're disappearing into some very thick bush. Love the walk. The elephant's swagger. That's a big adult female. Now, there's quite a few of them, and they're right on the edge of one of the thickest areas of Djuma. And you can just make out, I think that's Gallagher. Or was that DRC? Trying to have a look. No, I think it's Tayla. So you can see the roof of the lodge there, and between the lodge and here is all those very, very steep little river systems and timbuiti thickets. I'd estimate there's a good 30 elephants plus in this group. A lot of them have already moved through into those thickets. But while we've got a visual, we'll sit here with these great grey beasts. And in other news, while we were sitting with these great grey beasts, I could hear what sounded to be some Birmingham lions calling in the distance. Well, not too far in the distance. I think they're definitely still on Djuma. I'm just taking my binoculars out. I thought I spotted something in the distance. And it was a stump. But always worth having a look. And especially, there could be multiple Birmingham boys. There definitely, I could hear at least 2 roaring. Those elephants are going to disappear right into that impenetrable drainage line. I think we should go look for some lions. Some male lions to match Tayla's lionesses. Unfortunately, the leopard tracks also went into said impenetrable thickets. And unfortunately, there's a lot of elephants in there. So walking is not really an option to follow up on that leopard. Bye-bye, madam. Hopefully, they're going to pop out, I think. They're going to move through to around the Nkuhuma Dam camp. So keep an eye, and if you spot them there, let me know and we'll go back. But while we go look for male lions, let's go see how the incredible Nkuhumas, or what the incredible Nkuhumas are up to.
The Nkuhumas are walking. As you can see, they're walking right in front of the vehicle. It's quite amazing. How awesome is this that I'm able to sit right here and they're just going past me. You can see that one of the females, she's got a slight limp, but don't worry, she'll be all right. They are resilient creatures, and most likely she just hurt herself while she was running after something. We've got the last two little ones coming across in front. Off they go. You better keep up. You're getting to that age now, and we keep saying this, where they feel as though they're old enough to do everything on their own. It's okay. See, they're always showing a little bit of curiosity. That one's still quite wary of us, which is good. Let's hope it stays that way. Now we need to try and follow these lovely lions. Right. This is going to be interesting. Hope you're ready to do a little bit of off-roading today. And they're going down into a drainage line, it seems. Sort of back towards that big drainage system where we had Karula and her cubs the other morning. So I'm going to try and keep ahead of these lines. This is sort of my only option. It gets quite thick up ahead. David, are you ready for some off-roading this morning? Wonderful. Right, we're going to try and avoid all the bushes. Wendy seems to be doing so well. I have to compliment her after yesterday's disaster. No, don't make that sound, but she seems healthier, which is fantastic. When I started her up, she roared like a lion, which was fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that she hasn't got her cough anymore. Right, we're going to go the long way around. Obviously, I don't want to get too close to these cubs. We've seen that they can be a little bit frightened by the vehicles if we get too close. We're going to try and just move around them as much as we can. And through we go over here. There's a little gap. It's not too thick just yet. We're just meandering through some silver cluster leaves. Watch your heads. Well, you don't have to watch your head, but David and I have to watch our heads. My goodness, they move quickly. Now, there's quite a few birds around here at the moment, so I suspect that we're going to hear a lot of alarm calling. Should be quite nice. I've seen some magpie shrikes and some hornbills all around at the moment. You can possibly hear them. Those are the hornbills chatting away. Now, lions, don't change your path now because it's going to be difficult to try and get out of here. There they are. We can have a quick look at some of them as they come through. Oh, and they're pouncing a lot. Notice that they really are getting better and better at their techniques of jumping over onto their mom's backs. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to go and stash their cubs or if they're just moving to greener pastures. Coming right up to say hello. Good morning, Ellen. Ellen would like to know if the cubs are all going to be weaned at once, or will they wean themselves at different ages? Now, Ellen, it's quite difficult, unfortunately, because the various mothers are still producing certain amounts of milk depending on the age of their cub. And the older cubs that should be being weaned soon will still try and have a suckle when the adults aren't concentrating. So it does make it quite difficult. So the adults will become quite strict with those older cubs and sort of say and push them off and growl at them, possibly swipe a few times when they do try and sneak a suckle, and the younger ones will carry on. So they are going to be weaned at various ages, but just keep in mind that occasionally when mom or whoever's still producing milk isn't paying attention, of course the older ones are going to go back and try and sneak a suckle. It's very much like we see with elephants when the older calf has been weaned for a few years, but mom has got a new young calf, and you often hear that trumpeting sort of scream, and it's that older calf sneaking a suckle and mom then saying, no, right, now we need to try and get ahead of these lions again. I'm going to start up. Right, let's try and go through here. Oh, there seems to be a nice little pathway. It's very kind of the trees this morning. And Wendy got new tires. She's got new shoes on. So I'm quite interested to see how these wonderful tires will do in this thick vegetation. Oh, they've got quite far ahead of us. I'm going to have to play catch up. David, just watch those branches on the left. You good? Yep. I'm going to just go through a few branches because I don't want to take out the front of Wendy. Now I'm also scanning as we're driving through here, looking for possibly any buffalo or any nyala or anything like that that could be possibly up ahead and that they think that they may hunt. But while I navigate through this forest of terminalias, let's go back to Brent and see if he's picked up on anything else this morning.
So we're heading towards the area where we thought those male lions were calling, say somewhere just to the east of us. Now, we were quite far away and there was a hill in between, which can sometimes make the sound pretty deceptive. I think there's a good chance we're going to find them. Hopefully they'll give us another roar when we arrive. Seems like the Nkuhuma ladies have finally managed to give them the slip. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're systematically going to work this area. So from here we're going to go down back to there, check around the margin, up Nyala Road south, and hopefully we have some luck. I think they're in this vicinity. Could they have got past us already? Now there's a male lion track here. And it looks nice and fresh. You can see where he's been walking down the road. Now of course this might not be the male lion we heard, of course. Decisions. I think we follow the track. And make sure there's not more than one. Really quiet out here, only Tayla and myself out so far. It's quite pleasant. Have a peep on the radio. Morning, Mitch. Now, Mitch is wondering, do male lions that are brothers stay together, or do they sort of split up and start their own? They can actually do either, Mitch, so it's possible they could do both, but normally they will stay in a coalition, and sometimes they will add unrelated males to their coalition. So male lion coalitions are not always related. So if there's one young male and two young males and they're sort of being kicked out of their natal prides and wandering around worrying about being beaten. Now, hang on a second, Rich, I'll be with you in still there. There's also tracks to the pride, so maybe the pride got here beforehand. And he might be just snoozing somewhere here. If we get no luck, and we'll head back towards where we heard the audio. Just want to have a quick look in this open area up ahead. So, Mitch, as I was saying, they can do both. Now, normally they will stay together, and as I said, sometimes they'll add unrelated males. And of course, the bigger group of males you are, the larger area you can control. Nope, not here. I think let's go back down towards. Oh, it's just Impala playing. And you saw them in that gap. And just chasing each other out. I thought, there we go. They're doing it again. Full of the joy of morning. There we go. Celebrating that no one ate them last night. Okay. So we're going to keep searching for the Birmingham boys, and hopefully we catch up with them shortly. But a cat in hand is always better than a bunch in the bush. So let's go back to the Nkuhumas.
We have got them again. However, they are moving into some treacherous bush. However, never fear, Aubrey is nearby. I think Aubrey's going to come and give us a hand, which will be much appreciated. Sorry, I need to duck over here. And this is one of the last of the females. The others have taken all the cubs down, and it seems towards the drainage. So we're going to try and keep up with them to the best of our ability. But it is getting quite dense here. It's obviously looking a lot thicker than what it is at the moment, unfortunately, because a lot of the trees are getting little green leaves on them. Now, we need to wait for that female that's just lying over there where my finger is pointing. Scratch her on the head. She didn't feel that, don't worry. And and then we'll be able to carry on. We've got another one sneaking up on the side. Ooh. You see there's lots and lots of fallen trees. So we're going to see the cubs doing all sorts of exciting things in here, which is going to be lovely. There, see, this one seems to be trying to pick up on a scent of some sort, or are you looking for grass again? No, eating the grass. It seems to be the youngest of the Nkuhumas who's feeding on grass. You can hear some of the birds' alarm calling in the background. That's just for the lions. Here comes Female who's got a little bit of a limp. But she'll be alright. And that's unfortunately what happens is the animals that they are trying to hunt weigh much more than they do. And even if it was just something running and trying to get to a buffalo and then stood in a hole funny, remember the ground is not very level, could have easily just twisted a joint, but it doesn't look too serious. She's walking fine, she's just got a slight limp, but she is putting weight in it, so when that adrenaline kicks in, she'll run like there's absolutely nothing wrong with her. And it's just it's a superficial injury, so I reckon in a few days she'll be in tip-top shape again and able to carry on. And now I'm thinking, I wonder if I shouldn't try and go around, because I think we're going to have to try and go around. Let's start making our way around the other side of this big termite mound. Just because I think we're going to hit a wall of trees that we're not going to be able to go through. Lions, where are you going? Go back the way we came. Oh, there's another wall of trees here. Not... Maybe we can squeeze in here. Ha! Now they're going the other way. This is going to prove to be quite difficult. Hopefully Aubrey is on his way and he'll be able to help us, and then we can play leapfrog, which will give one of us an opportunity to loop around and ahead, and one of us to keep an eye on the back. Just going over a little fallen tree, no need to worry. Okay, seem to be coming through here. Huh. Right, I'm going to need to navigate through some very thick terrain here. I think while I attempt to do so, let me just head over to Brent and see how his search of the male lions is going. Ooh, got bitten by a tree.
We just heard that squirrel, who's looking at like it's just waking up, was alarm calling. The one to the left, that looks actually, that's a sub-adult, that's a baby. On the right there, the one that we're looking at, that little one there. I'm just trying to see the adult who's off to the left. Oh, he's moving down now. Well, it's gone up to the left a bit. There we go. Oh, it's difficult. Oh, itchy squirrel. Okay, well maybe he was just talking this morning. It doesn't look like he's alarm calling anymore. Let's just have a look as he gets higher up. Where he's trying to get up. No, he's off into the trees to start his day of foraging. I don't know if you can hear that in the distance there, that little African barred owlet calling. Now I've got a hunch that these lions are going to be through this dip, or at least one of the males we heard calling. They often like to sit in an open area when they're raw in the mornings. So let's go have a look. We're coming to these open areas around Chelepan and Spaghetti Junction. looking very carefully. Of course, I'm still looking for footprints. Fingers crossed, this is where I think those lions could be. So between here and Central Road is where it sounded like. As I said, we were quite far away. And lots of elephant tracks, and a good morning to Safari Dean. Now, of course, we're looking for the Birmingham boys at the moment, and Safari Dean is wondering what happens if the male lions get killed before they are able to expel the young males from a pride. Well, what normally happens is that, well, in a big coalition like this, it's more than likely marauding males that will kill them, but there's always a chance that they get injured by buffalo or such and such. Now, in that case, the young males will hang around for a little bit, but that absence of male lions roaring constantly will sort of be a big notification to any nomadic males in the area that this is a good spot to come attempt to take over, or come at least inspect to see if it's worth competing for or taking over completely. So then they'll chase the young males away, or if they don't kill them, of course. Now what I'm doing is I'm heading down towards our southern boundary just to make sure that those lions aren't on the move and are heading south. And, so once we've established that they haven't crossed, then we start moving our way back towards the north, systematically working through an area. I was hoping that the cloud cover was going to clear, but it's not looking too hopeful at the moment. It's still quite grey and chilly. So while we continue to systematically scythe through Juma in search of some Birmingham boys, let's go back to Tayla, who's been following the Nkuhumas.
They have become temporarily static for the moment. However, I do not know how long this is going to last for. I see one female's already got up and moved up ahead. And luckily for us, though, we managed to find a decent spot to cross this drainage line if they do decide to cross, which is quite exciting because I was really worried I was going to have to go all the way around. They're just taking a little rest at the moment. Don't know where all the little ones are. They seem to have disappeared onto the other side. Just one little cub. Yeah, disturbing everybody. Oh, I just need to very quickly listen because I could possibly hear Aubrey. Trying to keep an ear out for Aubrey, just because I'm in the middle of two roads and some very thick vegetation. Oh, just to help him get in here because it's quite difficult. So if you hear me go quiet, it's just because I can hear a vehicle in the distance. Oh, I can hear that moaning has started of those little ones already. We'll just stick with them here though until they decide to cross. Beautiful. Look at it, looking, listening. Haven't seen anything just yet, unfortunately. No sign of a nyala or even a kudu. Just a few birds that were alarm calling at the lions, and that seems to be it for now. But we know the Nkuhumas, once they get down into their favorite drainage line, well, we know what happens then. Hey, I need to talk to Aubrey very quickly. Aubrey Taylor. Is that you on Aubrey's now? I've got your audio. I think if you can try and make your way east from wherever you are now, on the southern side of this drainage, and then I'll get your audio a little bit better. We're right in the middle of the block between Shortcut Gallagher and Aubrey's on the southern side of that first drainage. Right, so I can hear Aubrey's vehicle. It's far away though, but I think he's got the right idea, and he's going to play a valuable role in trying to keep up with these Nkuhumas when they do start moving again. It's only getting denser and denser. We'll definitely need some help. Though we were having this chat last night how Windy and Rusty and Jigger are the ultimate off-roading vehicles because of their compact size. They really are able to squeeze through the tiniest of gaps, and they've got quite a high clearance as well underneath the vehicle, which allows us to go where no other vehicle has gone. All having another groom again. They are squeaky clean, these lions. That's, I think, we see the lions doing most of their day. I think they sleep just as much as the Nkuhumas seem to groom themselves. It sounds like Aubrey's actually coming from Gallagher's side. Right. I need to help Aubrey just get in here. While you do, I think Brent has got something that's swinging from the trees.
Now we're next to the Moati River, and there's a jackalberry in fruit, and it has attracted the local shrewdness of vervet monkeys. Now, shrewdness is the old original colonial collective noun for monkeys. As you can see, they're not quite ripe, some of them yet, so as we watch, that monkey is picking its way through looking for the ripest of those little jackalberry fruits. They are fascinating creatures to watch. There's quite a few of them here. All busy. Morning. Good, thanks. Any updates from your side? Monkeys. Where are you off to? Oh, it is. Huh? Good luck. Hey, morning meeting. There you go, hello little guys. They are fascinating to watch. They're always up to something. I always think they've got a look of guilt on their face. So there we go, they spread out through the jackalberry, also in the marula tree. Hi, Jennifer, who's a new viewer. Welcome to Safari Live, Jennifer. Now, Jennifer's wondering, is there a resort where people can stay and go on safari? Jennifer, there are multiple resorts. On Nkuhuma, there's 2 lodges, one called Gallagher, one called Vuyutela, and of course on Arathusa there's a lodge, and on Cheetah Plains there's a lodge. But yes, the animals do have free roam. Unfortunately, there's a car behind us, but I'm pretty sure I heard those lions again back further to the northwest of us. Hopefully they call again while we're sitting with these vervet monkeys, also known as green monkeys in other parts of Africa. Now I've got a question for you. Now people are quite naughty and they move lots of things around, and one of the things they move around is monkeys. And you would be very surprised to find where some of these animals have ended up. Now, vervet monkeys are indigenous to Africa, and they're not really... They don't occur anywhere out of Africa, for that matter, naturally. But they have been moved around. And if anyone can tell me another country or spot in the world where there are vervet monkeys, and of course shouldn't be there, let me know using the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter, or you can use questions at wildearth.tv. Now there's quite a few different places, and some of them will be closer to you than you think. So they're mostly vegetarian, but they are omnivorous, and they will grab baby squirrels out of nests, birds, baby birds, eggs, insects occasionally. Oh, there's also, see how they're very busy. That's what makes them so fun to watch. Very seldom do they do nothing. Now they've got to make the most of the daylight hours like us, because they are diurnal creatures. So in the dark night they find a nice tree to sleep in, wake up early in the morning and forage throughout the day, maybe taking a little lunchtime siesta. Now, one of the strangest things about a vervet monkey, it's actually used by scientists quite frequently to study the social interactions, because of their social interactions being quite close to human beings. And they suffer from hyper anxiety, tension, and believe it or not, in some rare cases, alcohol dependence. Now, there's a bird. Did you see the bird that landed in the tree above them, Chandra?
Which one?
Do you keep... Oh, where's he gone now? Okay. There we go. There we go. An African grey hornbill. It looked like. Oh, it's not being very forthcoming. There we go. There you go, you can see the very grey hornbill with that beak. Now, hornbills are also great fruit eaters, and will be taking advantage of this jackalberry just as the monkeys are. There we go, a monkey and a hornbill. So as I was saying, so monkeys can become dependent on alcohol. Well done to Fuzzman and Siberia Zumi. I was saying that the vervet monkey has been introduced to all sorts of places, and one that's quite close to where you are is Florida. So you can go see vervet monkeys in Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, Arizona, California, Texas, Barbados, St. Kitts, Bermuda, Bahamas, Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Nevis. So they have been spread all over. I think I'd get quite a shock if I saw a vervet monkey while traveling through the United States. Somehow it seems that they sort of suit the South, Alabama, Louisiana. What do you think, Chandra?
Yeah.
And I wonder where Castro got one from in Cuba. I wonder. But there are some interesting stories about African mammals where they shouldn't be. My favorite is, of course, Pablo Escobar's hippos, who have now run riot and have bred to a large raft of over 40 that terrorized the villages around his old hacienda. So we're going to keep looking for those male lions and leave those vervet monkeys to enjoy their breakfast. And while we do that, it seems like Tayla has managed to guide Aubrey into the Nkuhumas.
Now, it may be tricky to see me as I'm hidden behind this guari tree, but this is the position I've decided to get myself into in order for you to get a wonderful view. Now, they're hiding in some very thick bush, I'm afraid. We're just seeing little snippets of lions coming out here and there, but luckily we've got one of the females that is quite happily sat out. Oh, and I think I can see a few more on their way. Now, we won't be able to cross over here. Oh, I can see the cubs actually heading onto the other side. Actually, we're going to have to move again just now because they are crossing the drainage. I can see the others all going off into the distance. You can just see them there. And I don't want to get too far behind them because unfortunately I'm going to lose them otherwise. One or two of them are still hanging around for the moment. And I'm still waiting for Aubrey to get you. He's close. He's not far. I think he just needs to come a little bit further east. And I'm glad that they're going in the direction that they are going because there's a nice little spot just east of me that I can cross. Good morning, Siberia Zumi. So Siberia Zumi would like to know which direction are the lions from the dam cam. They are straight west of, at the moment, of the dam cam. So quite far away though, probably about a kilometer, maybe a kilometer and a half away. And now they are all getting up and moving. I'm going to have to start repositioning and to start making my way around the termite mound to start making my way through the drainage. We've got a bumpy ride ahead of us, but it is going to be lots of fun because they're moving into the denser vegetation that hasn't even warmed up yet. It's still a lovely and fresh this morning, which is good for us. As long as the sun keeps away and the heat keeps away, we could possibly see these lions get quite active, and that's what I'm hoping. As they push further and further into this drainage, we're going to get them finding a lion. Okay, one is sitting down again. I hope the others don't get too far ahead. David, can you see those starlings down on the ground over there? Sorry, I've got some fighting starlings. Might be difficult. No, don't fly away. Where did they go? Oh, well, they were fighting. I think you've got a shrub in the way, Kat. I don't think you can see them. Go down. There it is. That was the starling, and it had a big worm in its mouth. It's sat up against, right next to the lion. And so I was going to say, at least someone is making use of these lions coming around, disturbing the insects. See, even the starlings like to do that type of thing. Oh, I can hear Aubrey's right here. He's not far. His guests must be having a grand old time ducking and diving. Here comes Auntie Amber Eyes. Hello, Auntie Amber Eyes. Saying hello, and that means normally when they do a head rub like that, that they're possibly going to get on the move. Aubrey, I can hear you nicely now, and I think just keep coming a little bit further east. You're not far. Oh. Our friend, the starling, who I don't think you can see, has become quite content with us, and I suspect that's because I've looked like a tree this morning, and it's just bumbling. It's actually right in front of my vehicle. I think it's an awkward angle for you to see. Oh, there it goes again. And I'm quite enjoying this little Cape Glossy starling that's hanging around the lions. Now, you better be careful, because the lion cubs have decided, the little ones, of course, have decided that they like the birds, and they tend to show a bit of interest in them. And I think that one of the Nkuhumas actually spotted it. It's now flown away, though. Lucky you. But starlings seem to be a quite intelligent bird, so I don't think that they would be caught by a little lion. I need to just try and get Aubrey to come north now. Aubrey, Tayla, come north now. No, there's lots of people talking. I'm just trying to quickly get Aubrey's attention. Lots of talking on the radio, so Aubrey could go past us. Can you see him yet, Javi? I can't see behind all the bushes. He's just having a look out. We can hear him. Sorry everyone, I know my attention's not quite on the lines. I really need to just help Aubrey because he's been trying to navigate in here for the last 20 minutes. Where are you, Aubrey? I'm sorry everyone, you're probably getting a lot of noise from me. It's because I'm stuck underneath the tree, as you can see. So every time I try and even blink, a stick scratches on top of my hat. So if you're hearing strange noises, it is because I'm being one with nature at the moment. You can hear. Oh, lions are coming back towards us now, which is good. So we don't have to move just yet. Now we should be able to start seeing Aubrey's vehicle soon. It's very close. Everyone wake up. Little one's not wanting to go to sleep just yet. They've still got quite a bit of energy. Hey, I can see Aubrey here. I'm excited. He did a great job trying to listen to my navigating to try and get through here. I think when Aubrey eventually gets here, we're probably going to have to move out for him, just because there's very little space, I'm afraid. They're in some very thick vegetation, and it seems as though, as you can see, the lions have decided to have a little bit of a sleep over here. So possibly they're not going to do too much more moving. But we will see. We'll see what happens. If they do get up and move, then we will carry on. They've just got themselves in a very awkward spot. Aubrey, did you book my over? I'm just east of you. Okay, copy. Some of them are lallering here, but there is one Mafuzzy that's up and mobile now. See, what happens is when you have a long wheelbase vehicle, it makes it very difficult to navigate through the vegetation. Like I said, we have got the extra clearance on Wendy, Jigger and Rusty. We're very lucky. Yeah, it looks like they're settling in quite nicely for the morning. You can hear all the little ones really getting upset now. Okay, I'm wondering if Aubrey can maybe go around. Possibly he could go around us. What do you think, David? He could maybe go around and come out the other side. We'll have to just say, I'm sorry everyone, I keep bumping my hat. I'm stuck. I've been attacked by the branches. They're on my jersey. They're in my ears. I'm closing my eyes. I can't see what's going anymore because I fear that I may lose an eye in this situation. No, it's not that dangerous. But we're going to try and tell Aubrey as well, just to go, maybe possibly go around. Maybe he'll be able to get a view since they are spread out now. I'm just trying to navigate under the trees. Out I go. And here he comes now. Well done. Just breaking a few branches so that nobody gets whacked in the face. They're all starting to get a lot less noisy, so the cubs have even started to sit down and put their heads down and take a little nap. Lumpur, I think if you can go around your bugamushle from the other side. Yay, Aubrey made it. She made it alive. We got Auntie Amber eyes up now. You're just changing position to groom yourself, I suspect. Look at those. She's got incredible eyes. And eye color is amazing. You even see it through the lovely green trees. It's quite a nice contrast. Now, over the last couple of years, I believe that Amber Eyes has never had cubs. I haven't seen her mating since I've been here either. And Steve from Liverpool is wondering what some of the early signs are going to be that we'll be able to see to show that she could possibly be pregnant. Now, Steve, it's very difficult to tell when a lion is pregnant purely because the gestation period is so short. It's just 3.5 months. And they don't show very many signs right until the last few weeks. They sort of get a very swollen belly, and then of course those mammary glands start to swell. Now you won't really know until the last sort of 3 weeks or so. And also then you'll notice some behavior changes, is that they'll start to go off a little bit more on their own looking for possible den sites, and then it's usually the last week or so before she gives birth that she will disappear completely from the pride, and she will spend up to maybe another 3 weeks on her own before she decides to come back and rejoin the pride and introduce any cubs that she has had, and if they survive. So it's quite difficult. It's really just up to the last few weeks that you'll be able to notice if she's pregnant or not. Otherwise you don't see anything really. I'm thinking what we should maybe do is possibly I should be the one that repositions and goes around, because Wendy is nice and small and she's able to navigate through all these gaps. Let me quickly... Are you happy to go around, Aubrey? Okay, if you can't, let me know, because I've got high clearance and then I can swap with you if you want to come here. Do you want to come here? We're deciding. We're trying to see which is going to be easiest for Aubrey. Obviously, he's got all the wonderful guests in the vehicle. We don't want them to be slapped by branches. But as you've seen, I'm also hidden underneath the trees this morning. Maybe try, because there's a nice open gap on that side and all the mantuans are lullering there. I think they might have a better view if they go around. Because they've got such a long vehicle. And they've got a vehicle full of people. They all need to try and see where, for us, it's just we try and make sure that David has a little gap so we can get the camera so you can all see. It's a lot easier the way we're doing it. When you've got guests, you've got to think about all the other people that are on the vehicle, so you can hear a few branches breaking in the distance. That's just Aubrey trying to maneuver through. You can see that little cub is very sweet, how it has draped its legs over that fallen log and still chewing on a branch. Now it's licking its lips. And I have no doubt that the Nkuhumas are going to be on the prowl, I suspect, this evening. But possibly even today, if it stays like this. The clouds are lifting slightly. Maybe there's going to be a chance that the sun is going to poke through the clouds. Yes, I think Aubrey's got a good spot. Hello, George Ann. Thank you so much. So George Ann says that they really appreciate what we do by putting ourselves in these difficult predicaments to try and get the best view. I will do it any day of the week, just to hear that you have got smiles on your faces. That is good enough for me. So Auntie Amber Eyes has got up and seems to be trying to wake. Oh no, are you eating grass too? Also seems to be eating grass. Maybe the lions have taken up a vegetarian diet. Possibly they've changed. They've done right. We're sick of chasing after animals. We're done now. We're just going to eat leaves and grass for the rest of our lives. I don't think that's the case. I'm obviously just talking lots of nonsense. On the topic of chatting about Amber Eyes and not ever having a set of cubs, it's obviously quite a difficult one. I've heard all sorts of stories, and I'm so sorry I missed the name of Jeffrey. Hello, Jeffrey from Texas. So Jeffrey from Texas wants to know how common is infertility in big cats. Now, I've never seen any cats that have had infertility, but I'm sure it's there, and I'm sure it's definitely possible. So I suspect that that's maybe what's happened with Amber Eyes, the fact that she has never come into, or she's never seemed to have cubs, and she doesn't really ever show too much interest in mating with the males either, I believe. So that's possibly the case, and now that's obviously quite a tough situation to get yourself into, because it's not her fault that she's infertile. And all the males obviously try and mate with her, and she doesn't produce cubs. And imagine if she does start resisting all the boys, and that's often when females get killed. So I think to an extent, I think she knows that she has to pretend to try and mate with them, and in order to stay alive. I don't think these lions are as unintelligent as we sometimes make them out to be. And I think she knows that there's something wrong and she can't have cubs. Because it's completely bizarre that she doesn't even go off to den. We never see her with a swollen belly or teats. And I have seen phantom pregnancies before. I know that phantom pregnancies in cats, I know in house cats it's quite common. Even in dogs you see it. But she hasn't even had anything along those lines. Oh, that was, if you heard a noise, that's my stomach. Wondering what Amanda is making for breakfast this morning. No, they really seem to have settled in now. I don't see any movement of the cubs. Everybody seems to be as flat as a pancake. can see one little cub moving around through the trees. Still grooming, still copying the other lionesses' activities. Now these cubs are growing so quickly and all the time, and they're putting on weight every single day. And I know Lindsay wants to know, how much do I think these cubs weigh now? Well, I think the first sets of cubs, it's hard to say, probably weigh maybe around just under 10 kilograms, somewhere around there. They're quite big. Obviously look quite small on camera, but they're not too tiny. And I reckon the second set of cubs are probably somewhere around maybe 5 kilograms, and the teddy bear cubs, I think, are just under that. They're probably around 3.5. I don't think they're particularly heavy just yet, but there's obviously quite a size difference between the youngsters. Maybe even those older cubs weigh a little bit less, maybe less than 8 kilograms. They're not too big just yet, but you won't believe how quickly they're going to start to grow. Give it a few more months. When they sort of reach 6 months, they just start doubling in size every month. They get really, really big quite quickly. Well, we got one up. Auntie Amber Eyes she's not convinced that she's ready to go to bed just yet. Little head nuzzle. She's still just munching away. I suspect she's just not feeling too well with herself, and she's trying to induce the vomiting. Now, here we go. Now she's going to sit down. She's obviously found some nice long grass to eat under that shrub. And I think we're going to have to say goodbye to the Nkuhumas as well. I don't think they're going to get up to too much, but if I do hear anything, if I hear Aubrey possibly say that they're up and moving again, we can always try and come back if there's not too much pressure. And now I need to try and navigate out of here. And while I do that, let's go see how Brent's tracking expedition has been going.
Well, we've been tracking, but while you track, you do come across lots of other wonderful creatures, and you can just see the spiraled horns of a male kudu disappearing. Look at that. Lovely big boy. Look at that. I love it when they do that, when they duck their horns through to go under a low branch. Oh, and he's ducked out of sight. So just to let you know, I've just heard some updates on the radio. There's 2 Birminghams way down south east out of our Traverse area. So that means those are the ones we heard this morning. So it could be still 2 here on Nkuhuma. We're going to check through towards Buffelshoek Waterhole and see what else might be out and about. I did hear some elephants behind us, but they sound like they're in the Moati River. I'm going to give them a little chance to move out of the thickets before making our way there. But while we do that, always time for a little bit of birding. Let's see if we can find what I was looking for. Making all the noise. No. Oh, there we go. Oh, yes. There. You get him, John, eh? He flew out. He has a little cardinal woodpecker. Where has he gone? He's a bit high. He just... Oh no, he's gone again. You can hear that. And he's disappeared. He's flown off, unfortunately. Now, it's always possible that these male lions are just being big, flat cats in the middle of one of these areas where there's no roads. We haven't found any tracks coming out. Hi, Tiffany. I saw your sister this morning, Tiffany. She drove past me while we were looking at those monkeys you're talking about. So, Tiffany says those vervet monkeys are very clever and very naughty. They stole her food once when she wasn't looking, and they can be aggressive. That's very true, Tiffany. Now, Tiffany is, of course, Shanae's sister. Shanae is a safari guide at Nkuhuma. So, nice to have you on the back with us. Tiffany, well, no, I'm sure you'd probably rather be with your sister on Game Drive. Okay. Come on, lions. Maybe there'll be a Birmingham boy lying up on the top of the Buffelshoek Dam wall. I'm really hoping for a nice bright morning so we can do some proper birding. With this light, it makes it incredibly difficult, especially if the birds are sitting high up in a tree. Hi, Debbie. Debbie's in Vancouver. Debbie's wondering if we've seen any migrants arriving. I haven't seen Debbie, but I've heard. I've heard the classes cuckoo, Mikey, and I've heard the African cuckoo, cuckoo. Now, those are 2 migrants I've heard so far. I'm really looking forward to the return of the black cuckoo. I'm so sad. Those are always very vocal. The cuckoos are quite vocal. And of course the Deirdre's cuckoo as well. Deirdre. Now the classes cuckoo and the Deirdre cuckoo actually have a very cool story. Oh! Naughty elephants. Which I'm going to tell you in a second. Now, while I actually do this. So, if you have been watching Safari Live for a while and you like to look through bird books and guide books, you'll notice there's a gentleman named Birchall whose name comes up quite often. Let me not put this on my head. And there we go. Now, there's quite a few different things named after Birchall. The Birchall starling, Birchall zebra. Now, when a lot of these animals were described by taxonomists or scientists at the time, how they would do it, they would go, oh, what's that? Bang! And then let's go have a look. Now, most of the early taxonomists used to do their own shooting. Birchall was not interested in shooting. So he employed a mixed race gentleman from the Western Cape, or the Cape of Good Hope as it was then known, whose name was Klaas. And Klaas used to shoot everything for Birchall, and then Birchall would skin it, dissect it, draw it. And the Klaas is cuckoo. Birchall named in honor of Klaas, who used to do all his shooting. Now, of course, Birchall was not very good at cooking either. So he was very much too busy skinning everything and identifying everything and drawing it all. So while they were on these trips to collect specimens. Klaas's wife used to go along with them and do all the cooking. So he named the Deirdre's cuckoo. Her name was Deirdre, after Klaas's wife. So they got their own birds for helping Mr. Birchall as he shot his way through Africa, or Klaas shot his way through Africa for him. So I've mentioned the Birchall zebra and the Birchall starling. And there's still a few more Birchalls out there. So let's see if anyone can guess or knows another animal or bird that is named after Birchall. If you know of one, let me know. Questions at wildearth.tv, hashtag Safari Live. Send your answers through to there. And Anna-Marie's wondering if I have found the white-throated robin. Alas, Anna-Marie, not yet. It avoided me. I even drove the whole Mawati River this morning. But the white-throated robin continues to be elusive. Justin is wondering, what is one of the most annoying South African bird calls? Well, I'd say it has to depends where you are, Justin. In Johannesburg, no doubt, it is the hardy-dar ibis, I think. What do you think, Jean-Andre? Jean-Andre nods his head solemnly. The hardy-dar ibis, or the hadada, as they call it in East Africa. East Africans think they're fancy. But it's the call is pretty much as the name goes. Hardy-dar! I'll play you the call now. Oh, some elephants at Buffelshoek waterhole. No male lion, but I'll take some ellies. And then I think actually the second most annoying call of all is that bird right there. The grey go-away bird. There we go. So he's not being annoying at the moment, but when they do that go call, they can be very frustrating. There we go. Yay, ellies! Hi, ellies. It does look like Benji. Hello, Trouble. Oh no, I don't think it's Benji. We'll see now. But whoever he is, he's having a splendid time. It is Benji. Hello, Mr. Button. Don't you raise your nose at me, young sir. Hello, Troubles. Let's move back. You happy, Yara? It's quite a unique position for us to be above elephants. Where are you off to? Look at that, showing off, seeing how good he's become with his trunk, just picking up a stick for the sake of picking up a stick. We don't want to block her off. We're giving her enough space that she can move. Right? She's decided it's time to feed. And Benji just looks like it's time to play. Now, of course, most young animals tend to play a lot more than the adults. Now, the reason for this is, of course, that they are not worried about finding food because they are supplied it by their mothers. Where's that little horror moving off to? Oh, he's on his way to go play with... There we go. No, I haven't seen little Benji in quite some time, so awesome to catch up with him. Oh, it looks like he's going to fall over. He's stood on a thorn. What did you do, you silly creature? Now he looks all embarrassed. He's trying to step so carefully through the thorn bush. Ah, success. Now I'm running back to my mother. Oh, that was too special. It's definitely not a pose you see elephants in very regularly. Now, Benji was having trouble getting through the dried bush that was lining the edge of the wall. Oh. And Christopher's wondering what's the purpose of it. And Christopher, it's to stop erosion during the rains, so to make sure the dam wall doesn't disappear. So what happens is it just makes sure that water doesn't flow straight down the dam wall. Look at that, he's much better. Oh, the rest of the herd's coming up behind us. Giving us a sniff. Hello, big lady. Seems to like you, Jandre. There we go. There we go, she's just heading. After those fresh shoots coming off the torchwood tree. So she sniffs away along the tree, only picking the one correct one. Almost like she's going to get her head stuck in there. Oh, stop for a scratch. Oh, that looks good. She sniffs. She's almost looking for the exact right leaf. She's almost picking one leaf at a time. Fussy old lady. So look at that. She's being very choosy about which little branch she wants. Oh, she found a bigger one. Incredible amount of elephants around Nkuhuma today. Must be 4 or 5 different herds. Sometimes it's just nice to sit quietly and enjoy all the different sounds of the elephants and the birds around us. I'm going to keep quiet for a little bit, just let you soak up the sounds of Africa. Oh, big girl. See, they're completely relaxed in our presence. And she's no more than about 9 feet from us. Chewing on the torchwood. Now you can even see those incredibly sharp spines, and that give the torchwood one of its other names, the green thorn. It's always amazing how tough an elephant's mouth is with what they eat. Guys. Just move a little bit. Oh, hi Nancy. Nancy's in Minnesota, and she would like to know, do all elephants have the same eye color? Well, not exactly the same, Nancy, but more or less the same. Let's go have a look at the ones who still... Oh! Somewhat next one trying to tiptoe across. Sorry. Frustrated head shake. Okay, let's go have a look at the ones having a drink. Oh, sorry, head in the way. Well, it looks like there might... Where did that one come from? Looking at so excited. Charging in. It's quite nice. We don't often get to sit above elephants. Oh, look. Oh, that one was kneeling. It was like sort of playing, digging its tusks into the ground. Oh, sorry, John, there's just stuff going on. Boys will be boys. Two little troublemakers. Elephants are definitely enjoying having all this water around again. Carol's wondering where we are. We're at Buffelshoek, Carol. And we're with a wonderful herd of elephants, giving us much joy this morning. Still one more playing than drinking. Now we're going to sit with these ellies for a little bit longer. But while we do that, it seems like Tayla's found another big, great grey, but slightly pinkish beast.
We have found a hippopotamus, and we haven't seen a hippopotamus for quite some time now. So I'm glad this hippo has made its return, and it looks very happy, swishing and splashing around with all the oxpeckers on its back. Can hear the bearded woodpecker as well, doing its territorial call in the distance. It's very active here at Red Dam on Arathusa. And that seems to be the only thing that is around at the moment. I haven't been able to hear about Shadow and Tingana, but unfortunately they haven't got any comms with the guides at the moment. But there's not too much chatter going on, so I suspect that sighting no longer exists anymore. Otherwise, I'm sure all the chaps would be chatting a little bit more. Now, this hippo, of course, since we have arrived, is now going to sleep. He's got his entire face, except his eyes and his ears, out of the water. Looks like some strange-looking animal when you look at a hippo like that. Doesn't make sense. Yes, hello. Here we go. Show everybody your actual face. See those lovely nostrils that is able to clamp shut when he goes underwater. And then that oxpecker is desperately looking for something to eat. Any parasites. But I don't think the hippos have as many ticks as the rest of the mammals do. Obviously, they submerge themselves underwater, and I don't know if ticks can hold their breath for very long. So I suspect that it may drown them. But I'm sure they have a few parasites on their bodies. Otherwise, the oxpeckers wouldn't hang around them. Look at those two. They were very chatty just now. And one's gone now, just one. And this one doesn't look like it's going anywhere. Oh no, it's back. It just dropped down onto the other side, obviously, for a drink of water. I thought you disappeared. I thought you left your friend. Oh, now they're gone. Now they're disappearing. And I can even see an Egyptian goose. A one-legged Egyptian goose. See that? How it's missing a leg? No, I'm just joking. Ha ha ha. It's got its foot tucked underneath it. You can see it a little bit over there, just to the right. It's just resting it. It's quite typical that we will see herons and geese standing on one leg. Did you hear what Louise said? I didn't hear her. I wonder where the other Egyptian goose is, because this one is very chatty. There we go. It's got two. It's a two-legged geese again. Goose again. My goodness, what is wrong with me today? Here we go. You see it opening its mouth. Now it is chatting. So I suspect that its partner is possibly down on the ground, or maybe around the corner on the other side of the dam. Now, unfortunately, Egyptian geese are huge pests in South Africa. They like to plague the golf courses. That seems to be their favorite spot, where they will eat all the grass and they poop everywhere. It's obviously not quite pleasant. Yeah. And the buffalo weavers this morning are also very busy. There's a pair of them that I'm sure you're all familiar with, the nest on the left-hand side of this knobthorn. There it is. You can see one of them hopping around on the left-hand side, and the other one is off collecting. Here it comes. Does it have some nesting material? Let's see. Yes, it does. You're going to see it land there. So that one, possibly the male, going off and collecting long bits of sticks and then bringing them back, taking turns, weaving, and just reinforcing that nest. And they'll reuse these nests year after year after year. No, it seems like one of them is doing more work than the other. Oh no, there we go. Now it's fair competition again. That one just looks like the female to me. That looks like the supervisor, sort of bossing and saying, right, no, John, I don't want that stick. I want the stick next to it. And then John has to put the first one it found and then get another one. There. Oh no, you're going to help. Very nice. So they're both doing equal amounts of work, which is good. Here they go, and keep stacking it, and they'll keep making that nest denser and denser. And there'll be a little opening inside somewhere along the outside where they can go into the middle. And I'm surprised it's just the two of them here. Normally you see quite a few buffalo weavers helping reconstructing the nest. And they all live together. That's a big one. And I don't know why the buffalo weavers aren't in the babbler family, because they chat just as much as the babblers. I think they could be even noisier. Like I said, we've got a pair that are constructing a beautiful new nest just outside my room in a fever tree, and they do not stop working the entire day. I'm so glad they're not nocturnal birds, otherwise that wouldn't be much fun. It would be very noisy all the time then. You can still see how it's a very grey, cloudy day here in the Sabi Sand. Clouds have formed a nice blanket over the sky. It doesn't look like the sun is going to penetrate from anywhere. It's really beautiful. And I'm not hiding behind the trees anymore. Maybe got a few battle scars from a few branches poking me, but I'll be alright. I'm willing to accept that's what I have to do in order to get you the greatest picture. And oh, we've got a terrapin. Look what's happened now. Look who's just snuck onto the back of this hippo. Oh, I'm sorry, not onto the back, onto the head. Oh, did you just see that little terrapin disappearing there? It obviously worked out that we had spotted it. Maybe it climbs back on again. Now, the terrapin's not going to be too happy though, because there isn't very much sun out today, and it's not going to be able to sun itself, but possibly it will pick up some of the warmth that the hippo is letting off. Now I'm sitting here patiently hoping that someone is going to let me know that the leopards have been found. So unfortunately I can't hear the questions too well this morning, and I'm sorry about that. I think it's got to do with some of the interference from the power lines that are not too far away from here. So I apologize. I'll get back to all of the questions. Did you think you heard it?
It was David in Napa who wants to know
Oh.
why the nests have to be so big.
Oh, David. Right, okay, so thank you, Downpour Dave. He heard the message. Static. So I believe David from Napa wants to know why birds such as buffalo weavers make such large nests. Now, David, a lot of the time they live in these communities where there won't just be one pair that's living in here. Often you see a number of different pairs moving in and out, and sort of safety in numbers, living in a community together. You also see birds like the brown-headed parrots. They like to make their nests underneath big hammerkop nests. You often find them nesting in there, and a few other species of birds do the same thing. And you know, the more birds you have around, the safer it is. You've got more eyes looking out for each other. It's very gloomy, but we're going to move away now from Red Dam, and I think we're going to come back onto Nkuhuma. It doesn't sound like anybody has had any luck here on Arathusa with the leopards, and while I make my way back out of Arathusa towards Nkuhuma, let's go to Brent and see how his morning is doing.
I'm heading back towards that area where I last had those leopard tracks, and hopefully maybe the elephants have pushed that leopard out of a thicket, or maybe at least make it a little bit safe for me to go walk around if I have to go look for him. But before we do that, I'm still zigzagging, hoping to bump into those male lions. So we've literally crisscrossed the whole of Nkuhuma, and we haven't seen one track yet. Well, Michael got a Birchall's I didn't even know, a Birchall's sand lizard, well done, and Joanne got the Birchall's kukkel. And I know of another Birchall's, which is the Birchall's sand grouse. Now, the Birchall was quite a busy taxonomist. And another quite busy taxonomist who we get to enjoy some of the things he's named. Just trying to remember. No, I think they changed the name now, but it is Le Vaillant, the Frenchman. Now, the striped cuckoo used to be called the Le Vaillant cuckoo. There's also a Le Vaillant cisticula. So quite often, a lot of the taxonomy in Africa, at least, was either by a Frenchman or by a Brit. Now, of course, there were others, but in the majority of the two nations that took part in the naming of the majority of African wildlife. Now, that, of course, makes quite a lot of sense, since the majority of Africa was either under a British or French rule during colonial times. Oh, hello, kudu. Oh, she's looking a bit nervous. No, she's off she goes. We've seen quite a lot of kudu this morning. And the female. There's lovely big radar dishes on her head. Now they are very much enjoying the green flush. Just go forward a little bit. There's some more up ahead. One about to cross the road. Oh, well, they're all crossing the road at speed now. Oh dear. These naughty elephants who keep dropping things on the road. This is going to be one of those naughty ones that doesn't want to, at least it's in a spot where I can get to it without chasing. Oh no dear, I'm going to have to climb under the car for this. Okay, so I don't want to give the kudus a fright. So if I go forward, it makes a lot of noise, and if I go back, it makes less. There we go. There's another kudu coming in from the left, John. He's going to walk across the road in front of us. Hi, kudus. And they're moving off now. Okay. The others have moved off, so sneakily. That's why I couldn't pull it from this side. And you can see elephants were the culprit for leaving this on the road. And they've chewed some of the bark on. Do you know what this is, John? What tree is this? Not a sickle bush. It's a zebra wood. Oh. So now with the drought, this is actually quite old, it's not fresh. With the drought being around, the elephants have eaten lots of things we don't normally eat too much of, like zebra woods. Although they do eat zebra woods in other parts of Africa. And that's a thing one must always remember, that just because they don't eat it here, it doesn't mean they won't eat it in times of drought or in other parts of Africa. Now for me, one of the great examples of this is the terminalia tree, or the silver cluster leaf. I mean, they do sometimes eat them here, but not that often. And in northern Zululand, they don't even touch the terminalias. Now, they've got such a wide variety of food choices there, and to a degree here. But if you move further north in Africa, up to the dry Kalahari sands in Botswana, they literally farm the terminalias. They keep them completely small, and it's one of the trees they eat the most of. However, in this part of Africa, they seem to like farming, particularly the red thorns, acacia species. I have not seen a big red thorn here. They're all managed to a certain level by the elephants. There's an example of one. And you can see they never really get much bigger than that because the elephants always keep them quite short. One of their favorite foods in this part of the world. But while we keep meandering on, let's go back across to see what Tayla's been up to.
So we've moved away from Red Dam, and I'm just scanning the area, just doing a check on the boundary on Gowrie Main at the moment, just to see if I can pick up possibly on any leopard tracks. Now the road that we are on unfortunately has lots of those corrugations that I was telling you about yesterday, so we're a bit rattly, but I'm trying to take it very easy and very slowly so we don't bounce around too much, and hopefully we're going to find and pick up on some leopard tracks this morning. Again, there were lots and lots of hyena tracks, but unfortunately no hyenas. They're so good at just coming through at night and then disappearing. Right, now nothing yet so far. Notice I'm not looking in the middle of the road because those tracks would have been squashed already, so I'm just trying to check on the edges where possibly the vehicles don't always drive. Just have a look here. So I didn't manage to even bump into an Arethusa Ranger, which I was actually really hoping that I would do, because then I could have a good chat with them and find out if they had picked up any maybe let's not get too excited. It's probably a hyena, but let's just double check and see these footprints. Hyena going that way, but no hyena, just the footprints, of course. Very busy, these main roads, lots of activity, lots of footprints. Welcome, welcome Tech Camp for Kids. I believe you're watching all the way in Australia. G'day mates. Hope you're enjoying the show. I'm allowed to do that because I'm actually Australian, so I can get away with pulling off a really terrible accent. My parents would probably not be impressed. They would think that I should have picked up on their accent and learned a bit better. And I always tease my aunt, Gail. She's going to be quite happy that I mentioned her. She's got the strongest Australian accent I've ever heard in my entire life. And often I have to ask her to slow down just a little bit, so I hope I don't have to do that with my voice, because I know that I can talk a little bit quickly and I have a strange accent too. But I hope that you are all enjoying this morning, and if you have any questions, remember you can hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or you can even comment in the YouTube section and we'll read those comments too, or you can send us an email, questions@wildearth.tv, and we'll happily answer any of your questions, especially if there's lots of children watching this morning. It'll be very exciting to hear from some of you. So, bumping around again, you're going to hear me talking like a robot. I'm going to turn off the next road I see. I'm going to turn off. It doesn't look like we're having any luck at the moment for any footprints or any animals. It's a bit quiet along the boundary. Sometimes we get lucky and it can be quite busy along these boundary roads, but alas, not this morning. Now I've seen some elephant footprints. Let's see if we can find some nice elephant footprints to show you. Right, let's turn my bum. Come on, Wendy. Can you see any of those elephant footprints? There's an elephant footprint there. Now, if you look, you can actually see in the middle of your screen, if you go a little bit further up, you can see the toenail. So Eileen wants to know who keeps the roads clear of all the vegetation. And obviously the elephants like to leave lots of trees around. You can see a few of them. You can actually see a few of them all scattered around there. Now, Eileen, it's sort of, most of the time it's the rangers as we go along. If we see a big tree, we often get out and we drag one across and pull it off the road, or sometimes you can actually push them out of the way with the vehicles if it's a really big one. We've got a nice big bull bar on the front there, so that protects the softer metal on the vehicle. And obviously when we have the big teams, so there's this big wasp flying around. Can you get that wasp before I finish? I don't know if we're going to... Can you see that there's a wasp flying around there? That is an amazing wasp. Eileen, I'm going to get back to your question. This is a spider hunting wasp, my favorite species of insect in the entire world. And the reason why is because it actually hunts spiders. Now, if you remember when we were doing the safari marathons about a few days ago, we were finding lots and lots of baboon spiders, and this is the spider that the spider hunting wasp loves the most. Now you normally hear them sort of going bzzz, buzzing around you. It sounds like a bit of a helicopter, and on a smaller scale of course, and they will survey an area and look for a burrow that they could possibly fly down and land. And then they will check that burrow and see if there's any spiders in it. Now, what they do next is quite creepy, and I think that is where all alien horror movies or any sci-fi movie really came from, is they will pull that spider out the burrow and they will sting it. You can see it's got a little sting on the end of its bum, and that will then paralyze the spider. So it doesn't kill it, it just paralyzes it. And often those spiders are 3 or 4 times the size of that wasp, which is quite amazing. And they will drag it. Then they drag that paralyzed spider to a burrow that they've dug, and they drop it down into the bottom of the burrow. And they will go down into the burrow after the spider, and they will lay an egg in the spider. Quite creepy. That egg will then hatch, and that larvae will have a live host to feed on. So eventually, unfortunately, that spider does die, and that's because that the larvae has eaten it, and then that will pupate and turn into a little wasp, and then come out, dig itself out of the burrow, and off it will go. Creepy, but we never ever get to see these wasps. So to have one actually sitting down here is amazing. And now, because the day is a little bit chilly and cold and there's lots of clouds in the sky, it's not doing much justice for the color of this wasp, because it's almost like a metallic blue-green. It's black, obviously, as you can see now, but as the sun hits it in a good light, it really shines some lovely colors. It seems to be listening to everything that I'm saying. That is incredible. Now, I wonder what it's looking for. I'm just looking over my shoulders just to see if there's anything else around. Now, Josephine has made a comment and said that this wasp is huge. It is indeed rather large. It's not quite as big as your hand, because that would be just too scary. So thank goodness we don't have any wasps that size. It's probably about 6 or 7 centimeters in length. It is big, and off it goes. I don't think you'll be able to hear it. Maybe if it come flying past us. No, it's going the other way around now. It's just doing circles. Where are you going to? Ooh, did you hear that? Did you hear that buzzing noise? It's still around here. I think it might be a bit soft. Let's see. Can you hear it? Did you hear that noise? That's the sound that the wasp makes. Now, obviously, I can hear it a lot louder than you all can, so I hope you cranked the volume up there. See how it's very busy now scanning the area looking for its next meal. Well, not its next meal, but possibly it'll lay some eggs in it. Quite amazing. It's still going. It's very busy. Great camera work, David. My goodness, I don't know how you're keeping up on that. Buzzing around, all I can see is downpour Dave zooming his hands around trying to keep up with that wasp. Has it gone? I can hear it. Oh, and it's gone, unfortunately. So, sorry, we were talking about how the roads stay clear as well, but obviously I get distracted quite easily by a lot of things. It doesn't have to be a butterfly, it can be a wasp too. And so when people come through and grade these lovely roads that we have along this big main stretch over here, they have big tractors and big grading equipment, and then they often move the trees out as well. But sometimes we need chainsaws on some of the other smaller roads that don't get graded all the time, or we have to chop them up quite a bit and then move them off like that. But we all play a good role, and the elephants are obviously always the ones that keep depositing them in the road. Now, like I said, these elephant tracks were going that way. Possibly we're going to see some elephants. Let's hope so. So we'll carry on going a little bit further along. I know I said I wanted to move off, but let's find some elephants. So I quite enjoyed the comment I just received through my ear. So Kat in Tampa says that she needs a pet spider hunting wasp. Kat, if you manage to catch one, would you please get me one too? And just put a little bit of string around maybe its legs or something, and then let it fly off and catch spiders and bring them back. I think that could be quite nice. I don't think I know anybody who's had a pet wasp before. I don't know how friendly they are, or if you can domesticate them. Whose footprints do I have here? No one exciting. There's lots of Impala's footprints. Right. Now, Peter would like to know if anybody's ever been stung by a spider hunting wasp. Not to my knowledge. They seem to buzz around you quite a bit, but they don't bother you for too long. I'm just looking in the distance. No, it's not an elephant. It's a tree that I saw. And I hope they don't, because they're large wasps, and I think if they did sting you, I think it would probably hurt quite a bit. So we'll try and not get stung by one of those. Oh, I can see some birds up ahead. Oh, hang on, we may be able to see an African grey hornbill, which I've been trying to show you since I arrived. Can you see it down on the ground? I'm rolling. There it is. There it's flying. Don't fly away. That was an African. Let's carry on. We're going to roll slowly. We may be able to get another view. I suspect we will. Can you see it there?
It's just behind the tree for now. Just a little more forward.
More. We're going to get it now. Should go to your right. There it is. Go straight in. There you can see it bouncing around. That is an African grey hornbill. Now, they're fairly common around this area. However, they don't seem to like the camera very much, because every time we point the camera at them, they fly away. And they're the most unusual looking of the hornbills. Well, that's my opinion, of course, and it didn't stick around for too long. But they do that lovely sailing fly. And it's gone, I think, a little bit too far away for us to get a good view. Now, there's also a lilac-breasted roller that I can hear chirping in the distance. Possibly we'll be able to see that roller. I can hear it. Where did you go now? Wonder what they were feeding on there. Possibly some insects on the ground. And it looks like that roller is gone. No, but we've got another hornbill in the road. Let's see. This is, I think, who have we got on the road? We're going to go stealth mode again. Who's that? Oh, it's our friend the yellow-billed hornbill. Hello. And of course, there's two of them actually. Should we roll on a little bit further more? Let's go, because maybe they're going to sit nicely for us. The other one is sitting in the tree, and they're usually quite comfortable with us and the vehicles. But maybe if I try... No! As I said that, why did you fly? Now they've perched themselves up onto the top of a tree, which is going to make it difficult for us. And there it is, hiding behind the tree. So two different hornbill species in very close proximities. Very nice, but they don't seem to want to carry on. I'm going to see how long I can carry on rolling for, just because I did see a squirrel up in the tree, and maybe we're going to be able to surprise the squirrel. He's just sitting up here behind this next tree. Let's see, squirrel. we can get you carrying on with your day. She's just up here. Oh, we've been spotted. What are you eating? You're eating a bush willow pod. Now, it's going to be quite difficult, obviously, because we're looking... No, and it's gone! Why are you so quick? And it's literally darted down the base of that tree, and it's run and hit the border of Mozambique already, so we missed it. But it looked like it was actually eating the pods of the bush willows. Now, I don't know why everybody is so scared of us today, all the animals. They're just giving us quick little glimpses of them. Though it would have been quite difficult to look at that squirrel, I'm afraid, with the dark clouds in the sky. But I see the most enormous herd of impala up ahead. Maybe they're going to stick around. Maybe they'll even do little leaps and bounds for us. And that always makes for a great screen capture, is when those impala are leaping across the road and you can catch them doing a nice big jump. Anybody that does photography will know how difficult it actually is to catch an impala as it's splayed over the road or in the distance. They are very quick. Right, we're approaching this herd, and I'm getting a few sprinkles as well from the clouds. Not very much at all. There's not really any rain clouds around. No, impala, don't move away from us. Very bumpy again. My goodness, there's lots of males in this herd. We'll get to a nice point over here. We'll stop in the gap. And there they are. Lots and lots of them. Oh, no, don't roll. You can see them all just moving through there. Now, there must be about 60 here. They're everywhere. They're across the road. There's still more coming from across the road. And there seems to be more males in this group than there are females. So possibly it's a bachelor herd that has joined up with a group of females that are passing by. There's a few girls there, but you'll see the rest that are coming through now are predominantly males. Lots and lots. Well, we've been chatting about how wonderful it was to have all that rain that we had about a week and a half ago. And I know Jammers is commenting, oh, they're jumping, they're jumping. No! They were jumping. Let's see if they jump some more as they run through here. No. So Jammers was commenting on the lovely green grass. It's really beautiful. Now we need a little bit more rain to keep it going. Unfortunately, if we don't get another downpour, this is going to be the end of the grass, and in a few weeks' time, the animals would have eaten it all. So even if we just get another 10 mils of rain, which is not very much rain at all, it will just be enough just to keep this grass going. And it'd be great if we just have a little shower, if we could just rain for 20 minutes or 30 minutes once a week. That would be much appreciated. The animals would be super thankful. You can see now they've all bunched up again, just so you can get an idea of how many impala are actually here. Now you also see lots of horns, lots of males, very few females. Males definitely outnumber the girls this time. Now, where are the leopards? Because this would be a fantastic spot for the leopards to come through. And they're not too fluffed up today. Some of them are a little bit chilly, but not all of them. Zetek has noticed those black patches on the back of the impala's hind legs. Now, Zetek, those are called metatarsal glands, and this is unique to only impala. There's no other species of antelope in the world or in Africa that have got these glands. And what they do is they are scent glands, and when the impala are panicked and race away from each other, they release a pheromone that is sprayed out from those glands, and they will use that to try and help and regroup and find each other again, which is quite amazing and quite a unique thing. I'm just going to pull off the road very quickly. We've got another vehicle coming through here, and I'm coming undone. Oh my goodness. I'm detached. I can't. My mic pack's falling off. It's a disaster. And Wendy's coughing again. Hello. I'm good, and you? Hi, Taylor. Nice to meet you, Cedric. Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a great drive.
We got
No, she crossed south, unfortunately, yesterday morning into, I don't know where, from Shabam Road across here with all the Montans. Yeah. Everybody's very sad about the leopards this morning. We're obviously having a slow leopard. Oh, everybody shout hello. Hello. There we go. Now, a whole lot of people that are watching all over the world can hear you. Right, let's head to Brent very quickly, and I'll chat to you all a bit.
Bye now.
So we went past that area where the last leopard tracks were. Elephants everywhere still. So we went and checked Sydney's waterhole, nothing happening there. So I think we're gonna go mosey on towards the last position of the Nkuhumas for the last little bit of drive and see if they've moved or if they're still snoozing. It actually seems to have got colder this morning as the day has gone on. And I was hoping for bright sunshine. Unfortunately, I'm losing the battle with the weather today. Now, I also wanted to just have a quick look in this area. I have heard from my friends on Sibambili that in Chile, the female leopard has been around One-Eye Pan, so there's a good chance she might come here. Now, she's a young female, and she's got an incredibly long tail, and Chile means tail, so that's where she gets her name from. Hello, impalalas. Bye-bye, impalalas. Well, a big welcome to Surfbird, who's a new viewer. Great to have you with us. Now, Surfbird is wondering, how do the cameras possibly absorb all the bumps in the road? How do they do that, Chandra? There we go, active image stabilization. They are mounted on a pedestal with a fluid head, but there's active image stabilization, whatever that might be. What is that, Chandra? There we go. Okay, so something inside the lens actually shifts around, doesn't it? Yes? The lens elements shift around inside the camera, making it appear more stable than it really is. There we go, from the expert behind the camera. I even learned something new today.
Like IS.
It's like IS on my camera. There you go. Of course, our incredible camera team also help with that. When they are panning and moving while we're moving, they do an incredible job because us presenters can be quite difficult to keep up with. Now, Mark is wondering how many books and things and stuff that we take out with us on Safari. Well, I've been weaning myself from books. I now have apps, but I still need a certain amount of books. So, say generally everyone will have a bird book or a bird app, a tree book or a tree app, but there are certain things there are no apps for. So wildflowers and butterflies, insects, and stuff like that. So I don't know, depends how many books on average, probably 10 books. And then of course Most of us have a knife as well, and in my case I've got 2 GoPros, camera, lenses, binoculars. What else do we take with us on drive? I think that's about it. And of course, lots of jackets and jerseys, depending on the time of the year. Cameramen normally take a fruit salad with them when they are on the back. Chandra is particularly fond of bananas. Dave eats all the nachos. VM eats everything. Now, I think Aubrey said he was going to drop a guarri branch on the road where was the best access into those lions. There are a few spots of rain starting, but I don't think it's going to get more than a few spots. And there's Jim Reeves on his way out, coming down the road. Oh, he's shame he's gone off the road where we're going to turn off. There we go. So while we try to make our way towards the lions, let's go back to Tayla.
There, top left. We have found a crested barbet sitting very kindly and very still in between this little, what are you, a bush willow of some sort. Yeah, sitting nicely, not doing too much. It looks a little bit cold, it's quite fluffed up. I did see another one running around, but I think that out of the birds that we see all year round, including the lilac-breasted roller, I think that this has the most amazing colors on it. I love how strategically those little red feathers just pop out every now and then with the yellow, and then on top of the black you've got a little bit of white and yellow coming through as well. They're very creative looking birds. It's like somebody has spray painted them all those different colors, and look at that, they've even got little stripes on their belly. That's quite amazing. Now, I suspect that they're hanging around this area because we've seen quite a few big jackalberry trees with lots of fruit on. And the crested barbets, oh, there it goes, it's just flown up to the top. The crested barbets absolutely love to eat fruit. Now, and we're looking against that grey sky, unfortunately. Now, their colours are not going to stand out as much. Where are you going? Up, I think it's just gone to, there it is, on the tippy top. Having a bit of a scratch. And wouldn't it be nice if we could actually see this one call? I love the way that they ruffle their feathers up. I'm a big fan of the barbets. My favorite barbet has to be a black collared barbet. And I haven't seen too many. I haven't actually even heard too many. Oh, listen. It is calling. He's calling. You hear that noise? It's a strange noise. Oh no. Can you hear it now? That is amazing. They remind me more of crickets and frogs. To me, they don't really sound like a bird. It's a bizarre noise. Very unique to the savannan bushveld. Isn't that beautiful that this bird has decided to call just for you sitting watching this show? Also an opportunity to get some nice screenshots of a crested barbet. They don't sit still for very long normally. No, you're not finished talking? Finished announcing your presence? And it's off. Beautiful. Thank you, barbet. Wasn't that lovely? I thought it was fantastic, and I quite like seeing lots of birds. Birding is one of my favorite things to do. I haven't really had an opportunity to go out and do some birding on my own just yet, and that's something that I miss. And that's often when I plan holidays. One of the things that I try and incorporate in my holidays is to actually go on birding, find areas that are really great for birding. So go to the forest, go to the mountains, even the beach, of course, to see or the seabirds that we don't get to see, seeing as we're so far away from the ocean. Well, actually, as the crow flies, we're not too far away. We're quite close to Mozambique. But unfortunately, we've got to go all... Ooh, that was almost a very tangled, crested francolin. Let's see if we can get another look at it. Can you see it there? There's two of them, and they are very much tangled in some bush. I don't know if you can see them hopping around there. Now, when we came past, I think the one may have possibly been stuck, and then the fright we gave it actually helped loosen it, because it looked like it was sort of feathers and wings all splayed out, stuck and tangled in amongst this tree that's fallen over, or that the elephants have pushed over. So that was quite funny. It's very difficult to see them. They are quite well camouflaged. And they both jumped. Now, the other one jumped down to the ground to carry on looking for something to eat. Must have found a little ant or something. Perhaps it's on that tree. See how it keeps looking up? Maybe it did see. There we go, going to pick on the stem. What have you seen? What's flying around there? What's crawling on those tree trunks? They're coming around now. And they eat a bit of everything. They like to peck through the dung. They love termites. I think I've told you a few times that termites seems to be their favorite thing to eat. And termites are very important because it makes up the diet of a lot of animals. See them, how they keep checking the branches, keep checking the leaves, just to see if there perhaps are any little ants and things walking around on them. Very clever strategy. They're just doing circles. They're not really moving too far at all. There's the other one popping out on the right-hand side. Now, let's have one last little look at this francolin. There it is. That's probably the best view we've had so far. I'm going to leave you with a lovely picture of this crested francolin, but I believe that Brent has finally reached his destination.
Well, I think the lions have heard something. 3 of the lionesses have just stood up. And it looks like they're on the hunt. And I mean, literally, as we arrived, maybe they heard a buffalo. Now, all 5 are attent, all very alert, all looking in the same direction. They are looking quite hungry. That little sort of slinky stretch and stride. I'm just looking at this. I think they've heard a buffalo. I don't think too much else would get them this active at this time of the day. Sit and see what happens. I'm trying to listen as well. Now they've pretty much been keeping Nkuhuma buffalo free for the last while. Oh, it seems every time a buffalo sits, yeah, there's something going on. Let's move. So the one lioness is just shot off that way. So we need to get out into a position where we can see what's going on. hunting. Of course. Look at that. I wonder what they've heard or seen. The lions disappeared in 3 different directions. The hunt is on. I love hunting with the Nkuhumas. I've got one lioness veering off to the east. One's already gone west. And we've got one right in front of us here. And there we go. We've got the other 3 here. One's gone quite far to the west. Nkuhumas are up and mobile south. It looks like they're stalking something. So I don't think they've seen something. I think they heard a buffalo. I really just judging from their behavior. There's Amber. And she might even be starting to look. It's a bit early to tell, but I think old Amber Eyes is looking a bit pregnant. So we've lost sight of 2 of the lionesses. One's headed up that direction there, and the other in the complete opposite direction. I'm trying to listen. I'm listening for sort of probably the buffalo hoof stamping. It shows you what opportunist lions are. I mean, they were completely flat cats when we arrived, and they just heard something. All 5 lionesses stood up. Did you hear that? The snort sounded like a zebra almost. patient creatures, lions. I'm just going to move forward slightly, see if I can spot the other two lionesses. One went up there, other was over here. While we see what's going on, let's go to Tayla, who's also found some elephants.
I seem to have all the luck with watching the elephants push down all the trees. Now I'm confused as to why this ellie is ripping apart this tree. It's got lovely nice green leaves on it for it to eat, brand new. But I think it obviously wants to go for the bark. Let's see what you're going to do. It's a young female that we were looking at. Oh, she's very excited that she's got lovely bits of bark there. Very, very happy with that little bit that she's managed to find. She looks very sad, this elephant. I don't know why. It's probably just the way her eyes are at the moment. Possibly the weather dampening her mood. She's not bothered by us at all, though. She just wants to eat this tree. Now, it's a big herd of elephants. We are so fortunate to be seeing so many different elephants at the moment. And we've been seeing the elephants eating lots of bark, lots of leaves that are coming through, as well as trying to pick up those new shoots of green grass. And I'm sorry, I just want to confirm, Louise, who was asking this question again? Sorry, Anne. Perfect. So Anne from San Francisco is wondering if the elephants eat the jackalberry fruit. Yes, they do. They love it. However, I was actually searching the ground today on a big jackalberry where I saw there was quite a bit of fruit in the trees, and I was hoping to find one on the ground that I could eat, but unfortunately, nothing. So somebody's come through there and munched on all those little bits of fruit that I have already dropped. So when an elephant can reach the tall jackalberry trees, they will indeed eat the fruit of the jackalberry. They, however, seem to enjoy marulas. That seems to be the elephant's favorite fruit in this area. But for now, until the marulas show, and hopefully we get enough rainfall for the marulas to actually bear fruit this year, we will continue watching them eat the bark and roots of the trees. Every now and then we see one elephant that's desperate to eat the nice new green grass that's come through, but it seems to be a little bit short in this area and they struggle. And actually it's quite funny to watch an elephant try and work its trunk to pick up a tiny thing. It's entertaining. So hopefully we get to see that again. But there's quite a few elephants around here. They're on either side of us. Oh, you're going to take that one down too? Goodbye. What used to be an acacia. It is now about to leave the planet. Well, if trees have souls, the soul is now gone. And we're feeling a few sprinkles of rain. No, come on, you pushed that other tree down. You better just finish it properly. What are you going for? I'm trying to find a bit of bark to strip there, but it hasn't quite snapped it enough, I'm afraid. Yes, kick it. What are you digging for? A root. Possibly there's some nice roots under there. But she seems to be uncertain of what she actually wants this morning. First she pushes the tree down, now she's digging again. She eats the bark, and then she stops digging, and then she tries her luck again. Now she's given up. Are you going to eat a baboon's tail? Not an actual baboon's tail. I'm talking about the black stick lily that we're looking at. Oh, that's very clever, picking the nice greenery off the black stick lily, or we call it baboon's tail as well. Also a little bit short though. Unable to quite reach that. Are you going to eat the flower? Let's see, are you picking that flower? Yes! The elephant's got the flower. See how difficult it is for that poor elephant to try and pick all the short stuff. Yes, I'm talking about you this morning. She's very close. She's actually a lovely girl. It's okay. You don't have to worry about us. Oh, no, no, no. We're just admiring you. No, it's not. She's just She's actually okay. She just did a little head shake. Nothing too serious. Now she's going to carry on and eat. I think just asserting her dominance over us. Now, when we see elephants move, often we see them move through these giant blocks where there are no roads, and we're quite fortunate to just zip around and meet them on the other side, and it's amazing how quickly they're able to cover so much ground. And David from Napa is wondering, how fast do elephants walk? Now, I would guess their speed to be about anywhere between 5 and 10 kilometers an hour at just a gradual pace, a little stroll through the bushes. But when they want to, obviously we know that they can reach speeds of up to 40 kilometers an hour when they run, but they can also do a big power walk. I'm sure you've all seen elephants doing a power walk, and they probably go to about 15 kilometers an hour, which is quite quick. They can move. Here we go. Madam Elephant, you've found some lovely long pieces of grass to eat. I'm sure you are going to be very happy now. Quite nice to see. We're getting a little bit of drips and drops. David, are we all right still? Is this okay?
No, I probably need to put my scrubs.
We're going to have to put the rain covers on in the next few minutes, so we may have to disappear from these elephants just to get a safe distance. But let's see, that does look like there's a little bit of a black cloud. I don't think we're going to have a downpour, but unfortunately when we do have a drizzle, it can be quite soaking. And we've got all this wonderful equipment that we need to protect from the rain. Water is not the camera equipment's friend, unfortunately. As much as we love it, and the elephants and all the other animals love the rain, the electrical equipment is not fond of it. She's happily eating. These elephants seem very happy. They're not talking too much, just hearing the odd branch tip over. Quite relaxed on this lovely cool day that we are experiencing. Right, let's go back to Brent.
We can hear zebra stampeding. I can't see what's going on. So we just heard zebras stampeding through there. We've heard impala alarm calls. So those two lionesses seem to have gone in separate directions. Okay, there she goes. She's off. So are we. We've still got amber eyes and one other lioness here. But we want to make sure we're in a spot where we can see as much as possible in case they do go. This is quite a thick area, so it is quite difficult. What she was hoping is that the other lioness would be able to push those zebra onto where they were lying. I don't know if you can pick up those hoof. You can hear the hoofs. There's alarm calls now. What this lioness is banking on is that those zebras are alarming at the other lioness. Haven't seen her, they don't know where she is. Oh dear, did it fail? She stopped right behind us. So look, there we go. So it sounds like it was an unsuccessful hunt. I'm just trying to watch what she does now. So if she heads back towards the cubs, they're probably going to settle down again, and those other lionesses will come to join. But if she keeps going that way, she might think there's still a chance. There's lioness contact calling from over there. So it looks like she's going to head back towards the cubs, it looks like. Let's keep an eye out. And here's a perfect example of lions as opportunists. It's quite late in the morning already. They are quite hungry. And just that sound of either zebra or buffalo triggered them to. There she comes. The unsuccessful huntress. And here the squirrel's alarming me. I just caught a glimpse of her. Let me just go back a bit for Jean-Gay. Should be about to pop through that sort of little gap there. Come on, pop out. What are you supposed to? I can hear her calling again. She's not popping. And the other lionesses are heading back towards the cubs, so let's do the same. We are coming toward the end of the sunrise safari, but hungry Nkuhumas could make for a very exciting sunset safari. There she is. The unsuccessful huntress coming back. You just see that movement, there she is. We had a new viewer today, Surfbird. He says, thanks for answering my question, and you guys are fantastic. Well, thanks very much, and keep sending the questions in. We'll do our best to answer them, and in some cases even get the cameraman to answer them. Yeah, she's met up with the other female now. All right, let's go look at the cubs. Hello, little horrors. Now they've come out to go join the females. Oops, there's a bump there. And what a wonderful way to end the sunrise safari with Nkuhuma cubs. They are just too precious for words, these little cubs. But as I said, hungry Nkuhumas could make for a very exciting sunset safari. I definitely think I'm going to be sitting next to them, hoping for the chance of a hunt or even a kill. But from myself, Jean-Dre, Tayla, Dave, and the rest of the Safari Live family, it's been great having you. and we can't wait to do it all again in a few short hours for the sunset safari.